Blackbeard's role in the story of One Piece is still forming to this day. Unsure of his plan, we can still gauge his character. Walk with me. Hello motherfuckers, welcome back to the motherfucking channel. Today we are continuing in my series of ranking each and every Yonko in One Piece, and today and this week is all about Marshall D. Teach, better known as Blackbeard. Okay, I'm always excited to make a Blackbeard video. Okay, I have several on my channel as we speak. But before I get started, please like and subscribe as we just hit 370 subscribers. My God, y'all ain't playing. Thank you. Fuck. Now let's rank Blackbeard. Now usually what I do in these ranking videos is go through that character's specific timeline in the story of One Piece from their perspectives, first time in the story all the way to the current of what's going on in One Piece right now. But I already did that with Blackbeard when I ranked the Warlord. So today I'm going to ask and answer the question, does Blackbeard deserve to be Yonko instead of my normal format, and rank him at the end of the video along with the other Yonko. So I would want to know, do you think Blackbeard deserves to be a Yonko? Let me know. Now, in order for us to understand the question before I answer it, we have to see how Blackbeard became a Yonko. So we're going to look at that timeline instead. And it all starts hundreds and hundreds of chapters ago in chapter 234, where Blackbeard sends one of his crewmates, Lafitte, to Marijois demanding that they make Blackbeard a warlord. But he was turned down due to the lack of clout, which gave Blackbeard a green light to prove himself by any means necessary. Now pause here. Blackbeard was introduced to us by wanting power, wanting to become an elite of the world, okay? And yeah, a warlord title isn't a Yonko title, you know, but it's still up there, okay? You can still move around and sit at tables where other people just simply can't sit at because they don't have the title. So him introduced to us wanting this power, it was inevitable for him to become bigger and better over time. And he eventually would reach warlord status by taking out Ace and turning him into the world government, replacing Crocodile as warlord. But this wasn't enough for Blackbeard, only spending a few weeks as warlord, as he would step down as warlord during the Marineford War, claiming he only became a warlord to gain more power. So it's like, at this point, you fought so hard to become a warlord. Well, not even really, okay? That was quick work for him. But you're just throwing away that power as if you didn't even care you were a warlord. And he only achieved Yonko status after the Marineford War, after the Payback War, taking out the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates, finally becoming one of 4 Yonkos of the sea. But his rise to Yonko status seems a bit anticlimactic. Although it wasn't overnight, it surely felt that way, as if it was just handed to him. Now, if you compare Blackbeard to other Yonkos, let's say Luffy had to defeat a whole Yonko, although that Yonko was jumped. At that point, Kaidou had more power and strength in him than Whitebeard did on Marineford. So yes, Luffy had to build that shit brick by brick. But if you're comparing him to like Whitebeard, Kaidou, Big Mom, those people became Yonkos because they were part of Rox's initial crew. They simply had the experience. Now, if you're comparing him to Buggy, in my opinion, Buggy's Yonko status also feels iffy. It feels like it was just handed to him. Now, Blackbeard is a Yonko, but a Yonko isn't just about how you got there. Are you able to protect and conquer? So let's look at some of Blackbeard's fights on his way up to becoming Yonko. And we'll start with Ace versus Blackbeard, okay? Ace still upset over Blackbeard's betrayal from killing Thatch and taking the Yami Yami no Mi and leaving the Whitebeard pirates. And they begin to clash, and this fight it's cinematic, but it's mostly off screen. Even though Blackbeard comes out the winner, we do not see how exactly he won that fight.
Darkness, take him! Green Flame Commandment! Flame Emperor! The sin against darkness, huh? Only one can win!
But all in all, it's a win for Blackbeard. And now we're going to move on to Impelled Down with his fights between Luffy and Magellan. While he absolutely torches Luffy, yet another win for Blackbeard. However, when it comes to Magellan, Magellan not only gets the best of Blackbeard, but his entire crew as well. Now I need to pause here because really before Blackbeard got his second devil fruit, his crew was really the ones that were not protecting him, but kind of protecting him. He needed his crew to do the shit that he wanted to do. Even today, as he has the 2 devil fruits that he has, I still feel like Blackbeard's crew carries him, okay, for the most part. But Magellan took all of them out. A huge loss for Blackbeard, but Blackbeard may not always come out on top, but he still will escape with more than what he came for. As him and his crew were saved by Shiryu of the Rain, Blackbeard would leave Impel Down with more crewmates, stronger crewmates, and experience overall. So in my opinion, Impel Down was a win for Blackbeard. And now for the event that was Marineford. Okay, Blackbeard ends up killing Whitebeard once again. Whitebeard was on his last leg, so it's like, whatever, what are you gonna do? Blackbeard would even go on to take his devil fruit, and now, like I said, he has 2 devil fruits. 2 broken. And of course, the payback war, which he does win. We do know this, and it was also off screen, so we don't see how exactly it happened, but it doesn't matter. Blackbeard won. Blackbeard conquered, becoming a Yonko in the process. And now we must mention, none of these fights were easy for Blackbeard, okay? Magellan almost killed that nigga. Let's be real. Let's be real. And at the very beginning, very beginning of the Ace versus Blackbeard, Ace was swooping him up. He was doing his shit. Now on Marineford, if Whitebeard just had a little bit more health HP in him, he could have done some nasty work to Blackbeard. I 100% believe that, because Blackbeard was trying to stop Whitebeard's devil fruit from him being able to use his devil fruit, but Whitebeard was, I don't fucking need that shit. Kicked his fucking blade, and that fight was amazing, okay? But my point is, none of those fights were easy for Blackbeard, almost losing his life in a few of them. So for the most part, I will say yes, Blackbeard deserves his Yonko status. In my opinion, I want to know what you think, but does Blackbeard still deserve his Yonko status post being crowned as a Yonko? Now, post Yonko status, what fights has Blackbeard been in? Okay, and first he went after Boa Hancock, okay, and this really wasn't a fight. He got the best of her pretty much very easily, but was chased off the island by Silver's Rayleigh. Now that's the difference between Blackbeard and a lot of fights that happen in One Piece. There's always something that saves his ass at the very end of the day, okay? Not that anyone saved him, but Blackbeard knew that he I don't know. Blackbeard versus Ray Lee, if they really went at it, who would win? But I don't know, because Ray Lee is older and doesn't have a devil fruit, so he could get close up on this nigga and fuck his shit up. But I don't know who would have won that fight. Either way, that moment was a loss for Blackbeard, as I think he needed Boa Hancock's fruit. Check out my Blackbeard theories on Friday. Okay, it's a very interesting theory. But eventually went on to face off with Trafalgar D. Waterlaw. And once again, at the very beginning of this fight, Law was serving him good fucking hands. This is top 5 fight for me. I just think, first of all, it was animated beautifully, but also Blackbeard and Law's devil fruits are so interesting to me. It was very beautiful to see them clash. But not only did Blackbeard defeat Law, he also defeated his entire crew. That's not saying much, okay, because Law's crew is pre-time skip Usopp vibes, okay? That Law defeat was huge, as Law just came off defeating another Yonko, growing his status as a legend of the sea. So yes, once again, I'm going to stand on it. I think Blackbeard deserves his Yonko status, and although he hasn't said it yet, he only wanted Yonko status for more power, as he does want to be recognized as a king. So I say yes, but at the same time, it doesn't even feel like he gives a fuck if he's Yonko, but I don't know. So it's a yes and no for me, but I'm leaning more yes. Now, before I rank Blackbeard and give my predictions on Blackbeard, I want to give my thoughts on Blackbeard real quick. And as of right now with Blackbeard, in my opinion, he has the most potential for a villain outside of Emu in One Piece, as his overarching story hasn't even begun yet. But when it does, be prepared to partake and witness one of the greatest story arcs for a villain in fiction history, in my opinion. I think Blackbeard has so much fucking potential. Like him or not, Blackbeard carries so much surprise and mystery with him, and one day soon it will blow our minds. I still love Blackbeard. Like I said, I love making Blackbeard videos because his character is just so interesting and we don't even know the half. And now for my Blackbeard predictions. First and foremost, I want to talk about Blackbeard's next moves, okay? And some of these are kind of predictions slash theories, so we're going to talk more about them on Friday when I drop my Blackbeard theories video, but I will keep it quick. Okay, walk with me. His first next step could be headed to Elbaf to continue in the footsteps that Rocks took. Or he could be going to Wano to get the ancient weapon that is there, Pluton. Or is the one in Marijois causing havoc, which is why Shamrock had to leave, okay? So we'll talk more about what I think his next move will be, but just sit with that for now and let me know your thoughts. Now, my next Blackbeard prediction is Blackbeard versus Big Mom is happening. Okay, now speaking of Big Mom, we just ranked and dropped her theories videos last week, so go over there, check that out. And I said it in my Big Mom video, but Big Mom's not going to let Blackbeard get away with this, and in my opinion, I don't think Big Mom is dead. And I also said that Big Mom, in her mind, I feel like she can torture her kids if she wants to, but when it comes to somebody else, it's gonna piss her off, especially if it's another Yonko, okay? And in my opinion, that will be an epic battle, and you know, however that battle may end, Big Mom still is gonna get her get back for pudding. Now, my next Blackbeard prediction is Blackbeard versus Shamrock also is coming. I feel it so deep, I do. And or Shanks, that could also be happening as well, but once Blackbeard finds out that Shanks and Shamrock's father, maybe he already knows, is the one that put the finishing blow on Rocks, which is Blackbeard's father, it's going to be a nasty mess. And I feel like Blackbeard will get his get back, okay? Now my final Blackbeard prediction is Blackbeard versus Emu also could be inevitable, especially because Emu is the one that essentially killed Rocks or sent him to his grave, and the winner of that fight will decide the fate of the world, okay? Now I don't know, I don't want to make any predictions on that fight, who will win, what will happen, because we just don't fucking know. But I want to know your thoughts on those Blackbeard predictions. Now, to rank Blackbeard among the other Yonkos of the sea, I'm gonna give Blackbeard a A+, as it, in my opinion, he doesn't really keep the order and actually is the chaos within that order. You can even go as far as say he doesn't deserve that Yonko status, but in my opinion, I think he does. But as he seems to be just using it to propel himself even farther up the ladder. But I would love to know your thoughts and where you would rank Blackbeard on this list. Oh my God. I don't know, don't eat me up in the comments. But like I said, if you're looking for a more deep dive into Blackbeard, we did that already as the Warlord videos. I'll link it somewhere, whatever, or just go to my channel, it's all there, okay? But be back here on Friday as we are getting into some of the best Blackbeard theories I could get my hands on, okay? And go check out every other video in this series, as they are all very good, okay? Please, I put a lot of work into them. And make sure you like and subscribe, please. But I guess that's it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Bye, motherfuckers.